How the hell you doing, YouTube? Today we're back with a brand new video. So in today's video we're going to be re-skimming this landing wall. Along with the landing wall we're going to be doing a few other bits. The small bit till the right hand of the screen behind the ladders up to the loft, and then a few bits and pieces at the bottom of the stairs. So when we're re-skimming big landing walls like this, if it is your first time, or you don't really have much experience plastering, I would advise not to try a landing wall. But if you have done a bit and you're confident that you can get the wall flat and straight, then go ahead and have a go. So with like everything that we do, we have a routine, a rhythm till the way we do it. People that are left-handed start on the right, and people that are right-handed started on the left. So this wall here would be perfect for somebody who is right-handed, because they would be able to start in the top left-hand corner, bring the wall down, and then bring it basically the way to the bottom of the stairs there, where you can see the end. Because I'm left-handed, unfortunately I can't do that. So what I have to do is start from the bottom, bring the wall up. You can see here I get it up as high as I can, and then I'll drop down and coat the bottom here the whole way up. Once I've got this done, I'll put a plank in place and set off a small scaffold on the stairs. This is to get the top of the wall. We had a few problems doing this landing, because from the wall there, you can see just above my head till the left hand side of the shot, it was just slightly short of 8 foot. So the plank, my 8 foot plank, didn't fit, and then the only other size smaller than an 8 foot I have is a 6 foot, which is just slightly too short. So basically what I had to do was set up the 6 foot plank, put a crate on the second stair down, and then it left the scaffold just slightly too low. So you'll see a wee bit later on that I actually have to set the crate up on the landing and reach from there to get the very top of the wall. With landing walls, it's especially important that we get it as flat as we possibly can, because not every landing wall, but a lot of landing walls have windows at the bottom, and then windows usually throw light up the landing, which you'll see every little hump and bump in the wall. And you can see it, I'm just slightly too low here to get the very top of the wall. So what I'll do is I'll get it as high as I can. I'll drop the scaffold, and then I will use the crate from the landing to get the top of the wall. It's not always a good idea trying to reach across the way I do, because it's obviously dangerous. Always set up your scaffold properly. When I priced this job, I measured, and the measurement, I don't know, I must have got it wrong, but it said that it was just the gap there was slightly bigger than 8 foot, which I thought was going to let me put my big plank in, but it didn't work out that way, and it was sort of caught out by that fact. So that's the reason I'm doing it the way that I'm doing it. Yeah, so you're always wanting to work from the top down, And if obviously you're right-handed, you would work from the top left-hand corner and bring the wall across and then drop down. But because I'm left-handed, I have to do it the opposite way here. So I bring this part of the wall up, set up the scaffold to get the top. You can see here that I'm just getting the middle flattened out before I take the plank down. I'll take the plank down then so that I can get the crate. You see, I set the crate at the top, and then that'll allow me to sort of reach a little bit and get the top, and then we just sort of flatten it down from there. So this is it where it's already been flattened, and I'm starting the second coat. As per usual, we've mixed ourselves a fresh drop of skim. This is probably the best bit of advice that I give you, would be your second coat, make it softer than your first coat. It'll give you time to play with it. The first coat, you don't have to worry about it being exactly 100% flat. You can have one or two wee bumps or ridges, as long as it's flat enough. But when you are going to second coat, makes it a bit softer, and it gives you some extra time basically to play with the plaster. The reason I say that is because with these big landing walls, if you're not really that experienced, you're definitely want to give yourself as much time as possible to get it flattened out. As you can see there, you can see the light shining across the very bottom of the wall there where I'm putting the plaster on. And you can see it's sort of shining halfway up the wall. When you're standing at the bottom of the stairs looking sidewards up, that light actually throws itself the whole way up the landing wall. So if you haven't got that straight, you're going to see every lump and bump. So it's very important you're after you've second coated, that you get your plaster as flat as you possibly can. And if you do that, then it means you give yourself the best possible opportunity to get the wall flat. So I just wanted to know, people that watch the videos, are you happy enough with the content that we've been putting out? Is there anything that you just want to see in particular? As I say, we do rendering. We completely re-skimmed the kitchen there the other day. We do boarding, bonding, obviously skimming. We skim ceilings, walls, everything. What kind of content do you actually want to see? And are you enjoying the content that I'm releasing at the minute? As I said before, and some of the other videos, obviously I can't film every job, but if I can, I'm definitely gonna set up the camera and shoot. But I would just be interested to know what everybody would like to see. Is there something specifically you're wanting to do in your home, that you would like a tutorial video on? If so, drop it in the comments and we'll see what we can do. So you can see here in the second coat, it has lines all over, and if you don't have much experience, if you walked away and left this the way it is here, you would be in for a hell of a lot of trouble later on down the line, because although the stuff's soft now, if you were to leave this for another 15 minutes and then took these lines out, what happens is it leaves like a hard lump under the surface. and it's almost impossible to get out, basically. If you take it out while all the stuff is uniformly soft, that's fine. You can do that, no problem. But if the stuff's not isn't soft the whole way, and there's bits of it starting to harden, that's going to show through in your next coat. And it looks crap. If you're doing it in your own house, you make it away with. But if you're like me and you're sort of doing it in other people's houses, you're not going to get away with it. Definitely not. The skim we use is Carlite Ultra Finish. It sets in, I think it's 3 hours. It usually takes us, I don't know, it usually takes us about 2.5 hours to finish the plaster, because obviously you don't have to wait till it's completely set for it to be finished. When it starts to set, we call that it turning black, and I'll show you it in a minute. But it's sort of the plaster turns from this grey colour till it's like a black, and you get dots of it all over the plaster, and that's when you know that you're ready for your last trowel. On that trowel we use a flexi. If you try to flexi before you see them black spots, the plaster will actually tear. Even if you're just using a regular trowel, you still get some turn. You can see at this point, but I'm using, this is a 16-inch Marshalltown Prima Shape, and this is my main thrown on trowel. I will use the smaller 14-inch sometimes if the walls aren't that big. I'll use that for throwing on, but this is my main trowel for putting plaster on the wall. As you can see now, I'm using that trowel to start to flatten out the plaster. You can see with every stroke it's becoming a little bit more flat and uniform. It's important to get as many humps and bumps out at this stage as possible, but you don't have to get every single little thing out, because your next trowel, we're going to do that with what we call our cutting trowel, and it's Marshalltown Prima Shape 14-inch, but it's blunt, so it's almost new. The edges haven't been broken, any of that sort of stuff. And basically what we do with that is we use it to, like, we be really heavy with it. We wet the wall down and we use the trowel to take a layer of plaster off, taking all the lumps and bumps out. You can see just on the left hand side of the screen there, you can see like fingerprints. That's me testing the wall to see whether it's ready for this trowel or not. So it's the only way to really tell whether it's ready for its next trowel after you flatten it in is by actually putting your fingers, and what you want is for it to be firm to the touch, but it still be a little bit sticky to your fingers, so you can't push your finger right in, but it's still sticky. It hasn't went hard where you can't rub some off. And then you can see here at the bottom, I'm using my brush and I'm like brushing. It's sort of like what the police use for finishing their skim. They use a sponge float, and they'll rub their walls up with sponge floats, and then they'll trowel them after. Now, British Gypsum, for all the boys that use multi-finish, they actually say that you shouldn't use a sponge float to finish multi-finish, because it brings all the grain till the top. But with this Carlite, it doesn't say the same thing. So we instead of using the sponge float, we'll use our brush for to do a similar thing, sort of bring the fat and the grain to the top, and then we'll use our cutting trowel to cut it all off. You can see I'm bringing this wall down to meet where I brought it up from the bottom, and then I'll turn and I'll come back up. It's all about the trowel that you're doing at the time needs to cover your trowel mark from the time before. So at the back of your trowel, the toe of your trowel will leave a line always, and then the front doesn't. So when you're troweling up, you'll want the front of your trowel to cover the line that the back left previous. You can see here we're setting up our scaffold again. You can see the planks sitting against the wall there that I'm actually finishing. Usually you wouldn't do this, but because of I was tight on time, I've had to do this. But usually you would skim that wall down till just above the plank, and then you would sort of patch it in afterwards. But I've been doing it that long now, I can finish them walls no problem. So what I'll do is where the planks left the mark there, I put a little bit of fat on the edge of the bucket, and then I'll use the hard stuff from the edge of the bucket. I'll scrape it off and I'll use it to fill that plaster in each time basically. The watery stuff from your trowel is not good for filling holes because it's what we call fat, and it's basically a watered down plaster, which it dries like very powdery and dusty, and you can sort of wipe it off with your hand. So and I've heard painters saying that it's really difficult to paint over. So we're almost finished with this trowel, and you're going to see here, this is what I've been talking about, the walls turning black. You see the black marks all over. With this trowel, it's really important that we run the length of the landing wall. So you can see I'm going to go from left to right and work my way across. I'm going to get myself just under this little part here, and give myself the space to run this the whole way till basically the end of the wall. So you see here I'm going to brush it in, and then I'm going to walk right till the bottom and then come back, and I'm going to keep doing that. And it's especially important to do this with the part that the light's shining up, so you can sort of see where the light's shining there, and that's the most important part to do this sideward trowel, because it's going to stop any lumps and bumps that way. It's going to stop them, because we've just been going up and down up until this point, and this is going to take the lumps and bumps out the opposite way. But yeah, basically that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, I would like some input. Any ideas that you have for videos, anything that you want to see in particular, feel free to let me know. I would appreciate it. If you want more tool reviews, I'm actually going to do a few tool reviews. But yeah, basically that's it. If you could go out and check out my social media, we have Facebook, Instagram, and then we have a TikTok page now where I'm going to be starting to go live videos plastering, and then obviously like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, guys. I'll see you in the next one.